Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Before this video starts, I'd like to ask you guys to please feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's free, so feel free. And it's just really a great thing if you would. Also consider liking the video. Again, this video just started, so you don't have to like it right away. Just once you watch the video, you can decide whether you want it to like it or not. And at the end, if you don't end up liking it, tell me why in the comment section below, because I really am curious as to how to improve my channel so you could like the video. Seems a little bit corny, but it's actually true, and that's what I want. So today's video was supposed to be about severe weather that is going to be a threat across much of the Midwest and Upper Plains, and just pretty much east of the Rockies. A big threat of severe weather, lots of rain, storms, and for the past 2 days we have been getting a lot of rain here in Chicago. I think we have received 2 to 3 inches of rain, and we're still expecting another 2 to 3 inches of rain. But getting to my point, it was supposed to be about severe weather, but I decided to make it about a hurricane. The hurricane that's a threat in the ocean, obviously, and the hurricane that I made several videos on previously. That hurricane threat has remained, and now it still seems to be hitting the northeast coast, except now it has strengthened into a much bigger storm, potentially now not a tropical storm, but an actual hurricane category-wise, maybe up to it. Based off the millibar reading pressure, it could be almost a category 3. So it's getting a little bit serious and a little bit sketchy. So you can see, just going through this map, a lot of precip occurring across much of the country. A lot of storms you can see marked by the green. And that's going to be main story, just a lot of rain, a lot of rain, and a lot of rain. But this is where the storm starts originating. You can see some deep colors of red and orange, indicating there's a lot of rain, indicating there's a lot of moisture and warm water temperatures, which is perfect for hurricane development. And this hurricane just spawns out, and you can see it drops to 958. Okay, and 958 based off, I think it's Semaphore scale, something, I don't really know the exact word, but I've looked at it. I think that's a borderline category 3 hurricane. Again, this could just be this is not just a giant storm, this is a hurricane. I mean, you could just tell how strong these winds are by look at the millibars. You could barely see how tightly, look how tightly they're packed. They're extremely tightly packed. The tighter they're packed, again, that means more wind, and the more wind, the more destructive, and the more destructive it is, the higher it goes up on category scale. So, and this is as far as it goes. You can see it definitely does weaken after all, sort of later on as it moves up the northeast coast, because if it does move up the northeast coast, but if it will not be super strong by the northeast coast, even if it does, because the cooler water temperatures aren't premium for development of hurricanes, and it will actually slow down the hurricane and make it weaker. Since the winter has been pretty cold up in the northeast, the water is still cold in the 40s and maybe possibly even in the 30s in some locations. So definitely cold water temperatures will not allow this hurricane to be much stronger than it will be. I think the strongest point will be, it might even make a landfall in Florida first, and then the Carolinas, and then move out. But again, this track is still very uncertain. However, this track has been stable around, for plus or minus several miles, has been stable for past several model runs, so the models are slowly starting to solidify on it. And you can see this storm would just occur right at the beginning of the hurricane season. Hurricane season begins at June 1st, and this hurricane would occur at around May 30th, May 29th. So this would leave a lot of rain, a lot of damaging wind, possibly some tornadoes. And if we go to total precip, which indicates just anything that falls from the sky, you could see just this path of yellow and dark red where this hurricane passed through. And anywhere that is in the purple across most of the country is 2 inches and above. Anywhere that's red is 6 inches and above. Anywhere that's yellow is 12 inches and above. And once you start getting into these bright colors, like here in southern Florida, that's over 20 inches of rain. So this would be a very efficient rainmaker that would leave a lot of rain for the country, or especially for the East Coast. But there's still a lot of uncertainties whether this will even occur, whether this hurricane, at this point it's becoming more and more likely day by day it's going to occur if this continues to hold up. But there's still a potential for a hurricane. The track is very undetermined. We don't know. It might even hit the Gulf Coast states like it was showing earlier. Louisiana, Georgia, Mississippi, Florida might hit some of these states right here. But as of now, you can see it made that shift from going straight up north, going aside, and hitting the major cities. So this would be making a bigger impact if it went this path that it's going right now, because a lot of more cities are along the coast, like New York City, Boston, Washington, D.C., just a lot of cities that are huge, have huge metropolitan areas, a lot of population, and the more densely populated the area is, the more damage will be sustained. So if we go to MSLP 10-meter wind, which is basically how strong the winds will be at around 10 meters, you can see this hurricane is packing a punch. So some whites, some grays appearing there. So that is, you can see there's the red, which is around 40 and above, and then there's that purple, which is 50 and above, and then that's like that little gray color that is around 60, 68 degrees, 68 miles per hour in wind. So this is something that will produce a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and a lot of damage if it comes on land. If it goes out into the ocean, I mean, look, if it just takes 100 miles to the east, it's not going to be that big of an impact. If it goes 100 miles to the west, it's going to be a much bigger impact. So this is still very undetermined. As of now, it looks to be skimming the coast. You could see just taking a straight path through Florida and up the Carolinas, the Outer Banks, and into Cape Cod. Once it reaches in the New York City area, it weakens, but that would still create a massive impact on it. This is definitely something we will need to watch. I know I've been saying this the whole week, but this is just, I don't remember hurricane this strong showing this early on in the season. And I haven't been watching hurricanes for a long time, so this isn't, such a big deal since I'm only 15 and I haven't really watched hurricanes for this long, but I still don't remember a hurricane that was so early on and could be possibly making a landfall on the Northeast. Usually those hurricanes hit, say, southern Texas, southern Florida, but now way up the Northeast, so this is something we'll definitely need to watch, and we'll definitely need to keep an eye on, and we'll definitely just need to make more videos on, because this is there's a potential for this, and this doesn't look good. Now let's see if this hurricane will produce some severe weather, and you can see it doesn't have a lot of severe weather with it marked, or a lot of unstable energy, which is marked by this MLCAPE, which basically shows how much energy a storm system has in terms of severe weather. And you can see this has almost nothing. This is just strong winds and heavy rain. So maybe tornadoes wouldn't be that big of an issue, and that seems likely because so early on in the season, hurricanes tend not to be so severe in terms of just severe storms incorporated inside in the hurricane. Because as we saw, Hurricane Harvey was late in the year, and it was just producing squall lines and severe storms right after another and over the Houston area, producing flooding. This one just looks to be a prolonged heavy rain event. I don't think it's going to be nearly as bad as Hurricane Harvey, but it's just, there's always a possibility, and we'll need to just look out for it. I would like to now just shift our attention to the country itself and just go over the temperatures. So overall, the pattern is going to be a little bit warmer for much of the country for the next couple of weeks. We have been having some cooler temperatures now for much of the country. You can see this is just amazing. Like, look, so this is just this is just what fascinates me about the weather. Look, so 90s, 80s, even some 90s in central Illinois, but then you could see that line, maybe 10, 15 mile gradient, and right there you can see that 70s going from 90s to 70s, from 70s to 60s, from 60s to 50s. So this is where the cold front is lying right now, according to the GFS, and will be lying. And along this cold front will be series of storms just passing through, barraging the areas along. Yesterday there was a huge severe outbreak along the southern New Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware. There was a lot of severe storms that were coming through. There was, I think, tornado watches, severe weather, severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings. A lot of stuff was going on, and I don't know about the extent of the damage, however, it was quite a good looking squall line. I remember looking at the radar, so hopefully everybody is safe, but you might expect more of those to come along your way, because this cold front, you can see, stays pretty much constant. Eventually the warm air does spread towards the north once Monday and Tuesday approach, but you can see just 70s, a lot of warmer air, but then another cold front seems to set up a little bit further north, thankfully, since if it set up over the same areas, that would cause lots of flooding, because rain would fall over the same areas. But anywhere you see the blue, the lighter, the darker colors, that means there's most likely rain occurring at that time, or some cloudy, or a severe, or just like a rain event, storm. And you can see even here it actually cools down quite a bit. I mean, there's not going to be, you can see these days, this day, for example, wait, where was it? Right here, a lot cooler for much of the country. So if we go to 2 meter temperature anomalies, I think it's going to be in a blue. Yeah, some blue, some red. But overall, it does look like this country will be in some cooler, warmer conditions. Just overall, a very average pattern as of now. If we go to 2 meter shaded, yeah, you can see it's a lot cooler. I mean, you can see, I don't think it's going to get this cold, but we have seen temperatures that were cold like this in May. I mean, look, May 24th, possibly 40s in as far south as Tennessee. So, very chilly temperatures could occur, but that is just so far out, we can't focus on that. I am more confident on the warm weather that is going to be occurring the next couple of days with this. You could see 90s, 80s, just very warm weather. And also, one thing, if any mothers watching this, happy Mother's Day, or if you're watching this and you have a mom, please say happy Mother's Day to your parents or to your mom, and just it's happy Mother's Day. So hopefully where you are, it's a great day. Here, unfortunately, it's kind of cloudy, so not the best day, but what are you going to do? So you can see, if we go back several hours, actually, this cold front has stayed pretty much in the same place, and that's what has allowed for a lot of storms to just pass right through and hit our area, causing some flooding. We have on our basement leaked a little bit, so that's a little bit of an issue, but the temperatures seem to be making quite a big comeback compared to what we were a month ago. Much bigger difference, much better. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking the video like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and hopefully you guys will enjoy your weekend, and see you guys in the next episode.